Okay, there might be a few straggling in, but so good morning. I'm Eloise Cohen, and I'm on the Global Ministries team at Ascension, and would like to welcome you all to this class, Refugees, Crisis, or Opportunity. Thank you for coming. Today we're really proud to uplift the work of refugee resettlement and to learn how our own Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services works with other partners locally, like Interfaith Refugee and Immigrant Services. Our guests are here from today. Carol Yelland is our co-chair of Global Ministry. She's working the equal exchange. We have other members of our team here today: Anita Cohen, Ted Bartell, Mary Winnes. We're all part of the Global Ministries team, and Pastor Herder is our pastoral leader, but he's with us in spirit today. He's in Wisconsin visiting family. I would like to welcome our guests from Emmanuel Church in Thousand Oaks. I appreciate you being here today. Through this ministry, I have found a new appreciation for the work of so many Lutherans in welcoming the stranger. My dad, Raymond Olson, served many years and traveled globally for the National Lutheran Council and Lutheran World Federation, which are the root organizations of LIRS. And I just realized that my parents really taught me how to welcome the stranger because of his work and their faith. We had many international friends at our table. We had Ethiopian students from Cal Lutheran who were of the Coptic faith, Chinese missionaries, German pastors who'd struggled with the Nazi regime. And in 1960, we welcomed a Muslim exchange student from Indonesia to live with us and our family. And Darwies really became a true brother to me. And his values about faith and family have really informed my world and view to this day. For more than 70 years, LIRS has been a champion for migrants and refugees from around the globe and has a legacy of courageous and compassionate service for hundreds of thousands of people who've sought safety and hope in America's communities. There are 8 or 9 agencies that do refugee resettlement to the United States, and LIRS is the second largest. So I encourage you to learn more about their work. We have a lot of information on the tables and sign-up sheets. They provide more than 1/3 of the services for IRIS, Interfaith Refugee and Immigration Service, which is a multi-service agency of the Episcopal Diocese in LA. So our guests are Lynn and Liz today from that group. Lynn Mckenzie has been the Legal Services Fellow at the Episcopal Diocese of Los Angeles' Interfaith Refugee and Immigration Service since 2014. She received her Juris Doctorate and is very passionate about international human rights. As a native of Cape Town, South Africa, she found her calling for the law while growing up during the apartheid regime, where she witnessed and experienced extreme political and social injustices. She vowed to use the law to help others from experiencing such injustices all over the world. She hopes to continue working in immigration and a special emphasis in the areas of political asylum and human trafficking. Liz Kurtz, back here, has been on staff at IRS for nearly 5 months as the Refugee AmeriCorps Volunteer Manager. And before that, she was evacuated early from her Peace Corps service in Mali due to growing civil unrest. She has a Bachelor's of Arts in Politics from State University of New York at Potsdam and has lived in New York, Alabama, Texas, California, and Mali. Please welcome Lynn and Liz.
For being here. That was a very warm welcome. I think Lynn and I can both agree that we have been very warmly received since we first walked in the door. You all have been so nice to welcome us into your home, and I got a sneak peek at some of the gifts that we get to go home with today, and I'm so excited. Our case managers are gonna just not be able to stop smiling once they see what we come home with or go back to the office with. So, like Eloise said, I'm the volunteer manager on staff at IRIS. One of the more exciting things that I've been tasked with since joining the staff is getting to update this presentation. So I can personally vouch that all the numbers that you're going to see are just a couple of weeks old. So let's get started. I would love to hear your actual answers to this question. If you have 15 minutes to evacuate your home, what do you grab? I'm going to grab my dogs and anything digital. The cat can probably fend for herself, so I won't chase her around. But can I hear actual answers? What do you guys think you would grab if you had only 15 minutes to leave your home? Photos? Yeah. Kids? Cash? Yeah, cash is a good one. I would grab credit cards, laptops and chargers, cell phones and chargers, lots of those really basic. What'd you say? Legal papers, yeah, all that stuff.
Medication?
Medication?
But you don't think of it. My sister's house burned down, and they had to
leave?
They had to leave in that much time, and she said the stuff they grabbed. She looks back, she goes, "Why did we not think?"
Yeah.
That's all they concentrated was getting their kids out.
You're not thinking about it, yeah. I was lucky, in my Peace Corps evacuation, I had 2 days to evacuate, so I had time to think about it and pack stuff, and I was able to get most of the important things, but I had to leave a lot of important things back there too. So next question, and I also want to hear your answers. How many refugees do you think there currently are in the world right now? Or as of a couple weeks ago when I put this number together?
2 million.
2 million? 10 million? Yeah, so we're in the millions. She's giving 50 million.
40.
Da, 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 da.
100 million.
21.3 million refugees worldwide, and 65.3 million displaced people total. These are the highest number of refugees since World War II. I didn't add this in my bio, but 2 of my grandparents are actually World War II refugees. They were Jews fleeing the Holocaust. And so we don't really think about it, but refugees aren't a new thing to our country. We just weren't talking about them in terms of refugees. We weren't using that word a whole lot back in World War II. But Jews are refugees, so half of my grandparents are refugees. Yeah?
And I'm reading a very interesting book now about the Great Migration that I didn't know about.
Uh-huh.
From 1950 to 1970 approximately.
Yeah.
Blacks from the South and North. And
Oh.
they were moving to a new country.
Right. So we're talking about the South in the United States, right?
United
Fleeing-
States,
Right.
To the north and the west.
Yeah. So we would call those internally displaced people. And so those are IDPs, as we call them. And yeah, absolutely fleeing their homes. Same, if you don't feel safe for where you live based off of, I'm not going to give away the next answer, but if you don't feel safe in your home and you have to flee, then you're a refugee, including Black people in our own country in 1960, whatever. All right, that brings me to my next question. What makes a refugee a refugee? I kind of hinted at it a second ago. Another question I'd love to hear what you think the answer is. They have to leave their home. Yep.
Why do you think they have to leave their home?
For safety.
For
Safety, fear.
Based on what?
Oppression, yeah.
Because of what?
Government, yeah.
But about themselves?
They fear,
Right.
yeah.
Good.
Trying to get their children to a safer place.
They're trying to get their children to a safer place, absolutely. Yeah, my grandparents were children. Their parents were trying to get a better life for them. According to the UNHCR, a refugee is someone who has been forced to flee his or her country because of persecution, war, or violence. A refugee has a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group, Everybody nationally who counts as a refugee fits this definition. This is the definition that the UNHCR takes into consideration when they're determining if a person is a refugee. Over 50% of the global refugee population are also under 18, and a lot of them are also women too. Those who are resettled into a third country are the most vulnerable candidates These are women, children, families who have passed all of the security screenings without any red flags. So of the global refugee population, we saw those millions of people, half of them are children, and a very small percentage of them, only the most vulnerable ones, will ever get sent to a third country. And a third country is, their first country is their country, the second country is the one they flee to, and the third country would be like a place like the United States. She's so cute. How many people a day do we think are forced to flee their homes? Worldwide? Yeah. How many people a day do we think are forced to leave their homes because of conflict and persecution? Because of that refugee definition that we saw?
I heard at one point, 10,000 in Syria alone.
10,000 alone in Syria a day? It's more than that globally. That might be the number for Syria. I'm not sure it's specifically for Syria, but that might be.
20,000?
It's kind of it's every day that the number grows by another 34-ish thousand people. I'm sorry, this is so interactive. Does anybody know the definition between the difference between a refugee and an asylee? It's another thing this part, the news gets this goofed up a little bit. They always talk about refugees. They don't talk about asylum seekers a whole lot.